Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to be exploring the metaphysical question of how things can exist and why God is the best explanation. This argument will not single-handedly prove that the God of a particular religion to be true, but seek to demonstrate that the answer to this question is something resembling the God of classical theism. Before we begin, let's go over some terminology to avoid confusion. Aristotelian concepts of act and potency are very central to this video. Act or actuality is the fulfillment of change. It refers to the way an object exists in reality outside of the mind. Potency or potentiality is the tendency or ability for something to undergo change. Change or motion is the actualization of potential, going from potentially something to actually something. For example, consider a cup of hot coffee. It is actually hot and can potentially change temperature. As time passes, heat is transferred and eventually the coffee cools and is actually cool and potentially hot. This change in temperature is understood as motion. Additionally, the essence of something is the collection of properties that it is required to have in order to be what it is. Accidents are additional properties added to an essence that are not fundamental to its nature. For example, a triangle is a closed two-dimensional shape with 3 sides, 3 angles, and 3 vertices. This is the essence of a triangle. All triangles must adhere to this or else they are not triangles. Examples of accidents are side lengths, angles, and colors. This is because their values can change while the essence remains the same as a triangle. In Aristotelian metaphysics, there are 4 types of causes, but for the purpose of this argument, we will focus on 2. The first is the material cause, which explains something in terms of the matter of which it is composed. An example for a light which is on would be the material that the light source is made of and the electricity that flows through it which is converted into light. The other is the efficient cause, which explains something through the agency that brought the object to the state that it is in. A person who constructs a circuit so that the light can be produced is the efficient cause of the light. Now, we begin by observing that some things in the world are contingent or dependent on something else to exist. This means that they did not have to exist the way they are right now, or exist at all. This applies to material things, which could have had their matter rearranged to be something else, like a stone chiseled into different shapes or statues, and even conscious agents, which can come into and out of existence. Our goal is to explore more about how it is possible for contingent things to exist from a metaphysical perspective. First, do contingent things have existence as a part of their essence? Let's assume that they do. This means we have to say that any contingent thing X must have existence. But if X necessarily has existence, then it follows that X always existed. This contradicts what we know about how X is a contingent thing, and therefore X cannot have existence as a part of its essence. Because of this, it also does not make sense to say that X is existence. What about X's accidents? It turns out that ascribing existence in this manner has some issues. Let's explore this with the example of a cube. The essence of a cube is a solid 3-dimensional figure with 3 connected square faces composed of 8 vertices and 12 edges. Now let's list accidents and progressively construct the image of a specific cube. Picture a cube that has each side length as 1 meter, with a mass of 1 kilogram, that is the color red, that exists. Now notice that when I added existence to the idea of the cube, it did not change at all. Try imagining 2 different cubes, one of which has all the previously listed accidents, and another which has all of them but lacks existence. Conceptually, they are identical, and this is because ideas are fully comprehensible regardless of if they are fictional or rooted in reality. The actualities and potentialities are already conceptually accounted for in the idea. Therefore, contingent things become actual by some other means apart from their accidents. Elaborating on essences and accidents, some are simple, meaning they cannot be broken down into anything more fundamental. Some accidents are composite, meaning they emerge from the combination of multiple more fundamental things. We will focus on simple essences and accidents because a simple thing can achieve a higher degree of actuality. Some essences and accidents can be understood as unseparated or separated from how they come about. Take the simple accident of color, for example. Unseparated color expresses color in regards to the wavelength of the light we see and the material which reflects that wavelength. This understanding of color is dependent on matter, and so we consider the mechanism that creates color. Separated color, however, expresses color without respect to matter, and is the sensory experience of perceiving color independent of the object. It is general and cannot be pluralized across examples compared to unseparated color. There are multiple ways for an object to obtain redness as an accident, but there is only one experience of a specific shade of red. This is different from existence, which we can comprehend without reference to matter, like in the case of mental states and mathematics. If a reference to matter is not required, then this means existence can be expressed as something simple and separated from matter. We established earlier that nothing can have existence as an accident, and no contingent thing can have existence as a part of its essence. This forces us to explore things which are both necessary and simple as a source for actuality. A necessary thing must always exist no matter what. Because of this, a necessary thing by definition has existence as a part of its essence. Expanding on this idea, this simple independent essence of existence becomes our starting point for understanding how contingent things receive their existence. This essence cannot have any potential, because that would mean it would be lacking something in its existence. It must also be immaterial, because matter gives rise to potential, and an essence of only actuality cannot have any potential. We will expand upon this shortly. It is also simple, because something that is pure actuality is a single thing which is existence alone, and this cannot be broken down to more fundamental things. These points also demonstrate that this essence is unique, because something simple and without potential cannot have multiple distinct substances of the same essence. Now, the way matter relates to act and potency mentioned earlier is the key to understanding how contingent things receive their actuality or existence. Matter is what occupies space in a specific way, but it always expresses an underlying essence. For example, the same matter can be used to build a table or a chair. And even at the atomic level, arranging protons, neutrons, and electrons in a specific way will express the essence of particular elements. This shows that matter is dependent on essence for existence, because all matter necessarily expresses an essence. This is not true for the reverse or the converse, however, because an essence of pure potential is just a non-contradictory idea and is not dependent on matter to exist. Some examples are triangles and cubes. Lastly, whatever actually exists in an effect must be found in the efficient cause. We see this in an identical or univocal sense when a human gives birth to another human who has the same nature, and in a different or equivocal sense, for example, when radioactive isotopes decay into more stable isotopes of a different nature. It is equivocal because the parent isotope is not the same as the child isotope in nature, and the unstable nature of the parent isotope is the efficient cause of the decay. While the products of the decay pre-exist in the efficient and material cause, they pre-exist in a deeper form in the efficient cause, because the matter needs an agent or essence to actualize its new form. The efficient cause is the origin of the motion from one isotope to the next. With all of this said, we establish that contingent things cannot have existence as a part of their essence or accidents. The origin of existence must be from a simple and unique essence of pure act, and whatever actually exists in an effect must be found in the efficient cause. This means that the essence of pure act causes contingent things to exist through participation in its own existence to different extents. This foundation of being, which sustains the existence of all contingent things, is what is understood to be God. On screen, you can find some useful resources if you want to look further into the topics discussed in this video. This concludes the video, and I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for watching.